What if I told you one of the most glamorous women in music history once grew up so poor that her family paid the doctor for her birth with a sack of cornmeal? It sounds like the opening line of a country song, but for Dolly Parton, it was simply the beginning of real life. Before the Rhinestones, before the Wigs, before more than 100 million records sold and 11 Grammy wins, there was a little girl in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee who shared a tiny cabin with 11 brothers and sisters. No electricity. No running water. Winters so cold the water sometimes froze inside the house. Yet Dolly later said something surprising about that childhood: she never felt poor. Why? Because music filled every corner of that cabin. Her father, Robert Lee Parton, worked long days as a laborer. Her mother, Avi Lee Owens, sang old mountain songs that floated through the house like prayers. That's where Dolly learned something powerful: music isn't just entertainment. It's survival. By the time she was a teenager, Dolly knew the mountains couldn't hold her forever. The day after graduating high school, she packed her bags and moved to Nashville with one dream: write songs the world would never forget. And she did. One night in 1973, inspiration struck like lightning. In a single evening, Dolly wrote two songs that would later become legendary: Jolene and I Will Always Love You. Imagine that moment. One quiet room, a guitar, and two melodies that would echo across generations. But success brought difficult choices too. In 1974, Elvis Presley wanted to record I Will Always Love You. For most artists, that would have been the opportunity of a lifetime. But his manager demanded 50% of the song's publishing rights. Dolly was only 28, standing across from the biggest music empire in the world. She said no. That decision broke her heart in the moment, but years later it changed her life. When Whitney Houston recorded the song for The Bodyguard in 1992, it became one of the biggest hits in music history, selling over 20 million copies worldwide. Sometimes the bravest word in business is simply no. But the most surprising part of Dolly's life isn't fame, it's generosity. Through her imagination library, she has donated more than 270 million books to children around the world. Quietly. Without demanding applause. And that reveals something about Dolly Parton most people miss. The glitter, the wigs, the over-the-top fashion, those are just the costume. Underneath it all is still that same mountain girl who believed kindness mattered more than celebrity. Maybe that's the real lesson hidden behind the rhinestones. Success isn't about where you start. It's about what you choose to do once the spotlight finds you. And if stories like this remind you that the greatest legends are often the most human, consider subscribing and staying with us for more journeys behind the fame, because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones we almost missed.